this is Mish, and welcome to this Twin Peaks Season 3, Episode 10 recap review. So this was a day late. I tried to put out a Game of Thrones review, which I've done. So if you watch Game of Thrones, pop along and check that out. It would be appreciated if you get your feedback on that one. So what I'll do with this is just a quick recap and a breakdown around a certain character, which is Duncan Todd. So going forward, this will contain spoilers if you've not watched the episode as yet. So let's start with talking about Richard Horne's rampage. So if you remember, a couple of episodes ago, he killed the boy. So he was driving the truck and he smashed into that little kid and killed him. So what we find out here is he goes to a trailer, and the person inside there is Marianne Sullivan. So she witnessed the truck hitting the boy, and she is threatening to call the police. She hasn't actually done it yet. Well, she said she did, but I think she was more suggesting that she sent the letter. So at that point, Richard kind of probes for more information about this letter, and silly enough, she gives it all to him. So he believes that he has time to intercept the letter and to kill her. So we see him do that. So he knocks her out. Then he sets the camper van to explode by using gas and a candle. At that point, he rings, I believe it is Chad. So we see Chad as the officer who's helped him before. We've seen him help him a few times, I think. So he intercepts the letter before the sheriff gets it. Then after this, Richard jumps in his car. He says he's going to leave town. So at this moment, he'll need some money. So we see him visit his grandmother. Well, when we say a visit, he brutally assaults her. He also takes her money and her jewelry by the look of it, and many valuable items. So not really a good visit to Grandma's house. We also see that Johnny isn't dead. I thought he died when he smashed his face. It looked like he died with the reaction of his mother, Sylvia. But that's good to see he didn't die, but they've taken steps so he doesn't do that again, which is pretty harsh. Obviously not the right environment, but anyway, pretty rough scene for everyone involved, apart from obviously Richard, who just doesn't seem to care. So he takes their money and he goes. Obviously, he is one of the Horns. Now, we've known this for a while, but we've never seen him interact with any of his family members before. I'm not sure exactly how he fits into the family. I assume he's Audrey's son, but let me know your thoughts. If you're thinking the same thing, by all means put some comments below on that one. I don't know anyone else that fits the right age to be his parent. So yeah, once again, put information on that one if you have something different. Okay, now jumping over to Dougie and Janie. Not a lot with these characters, but it was, I guess, a comical, entertaining scene. So Janie, with Dougie gone, Dougie was a fairly large person, and Agent Coop seems to be in pretty good shape. So Janie has just noticed this for some reason. I don't know why it took her so long. And obviously we see what happens there, so she gets pretty excited. But yeah, very comical scene. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was quite good. Okay, so now on to the FBI agents. So we get this confirmation that Diane is actually working with the doppelganger Coop. So as we thought last episode, so we see she received a text message from him. And last episode, I thought that she was waiting for the message and there was something dodgy going on there. And we got that confirmation here as well, because she has replied to the doppelganger Agent Coop with the message, they have Hastings, they're going to take him to the site. So yeah, definitely confirmation there. We're not sure how willing she is in this relationship that she's with. Is she being blackmailed or what's going on here? We'll find out, I hope. But what was cool to see though is that, as I mentioned, I thought Gordon Cole was onto her. And he was, which was really cool to get the confirmation. So he said he felt it when they had a hug. And from that point on, he's been quite suspicious. So it's cool to see that. After that, we see Tammy arrived. So Tammy arrived with a bit more evidence around the penthouse murder. So this was the first couple episodes we saw this situation occur. We see she has found a picture, one of the first pictures taken by the cameras there. And it has the doppelganger Coop in the picture. I'll speak about that at the end because I have, a question around that. Now, moving on to the Mitchum brothers. So we get a reintroduction to the Mitchum brothers. So later we find out why. So they are still bitter about Dougie Jones. We see, their lavish lifestyle by the look of it. So we see, once again, they're bitter at Dougie Jones because he appears on the TV, and they still obviously annoyed at the money that he took away from them. Let's move on to Duncan Todd. So this all ties in. So we see Duncan Todd. He has Anthony Sinclair working for him. So Anthony Sinclair was Dougie's associate at the insurance company. So we know something dodgy is going on with Anthony Sinclair because Dougie, Agent Coop has called him out on it. Not officially, but he knows something's going on, and that was what Agent Coop and Dougie's manager have been looking into. So we see Anthony Sinclair told by Duncan Todd to tell the Mitchum brothers about the fraud for the building that's been burnt down, that Dougie Jones is going to stop them getting paid out. So this is a whole elaborate scheme so that Duncan Todd can get the Mitchum brothers to kill Dougie Jones, or who he thinks is Dougie Jones, but obviously we know it's not. So it's good, I guess, with that scenario. We get a lot of confirmation of a lot of links and tie-ins and associations in this episode. So I thought it would be a prudent time just to recap. Now we have a bit of proof. So let's start with the doppelganger. So the doppelganger obviously seems to be the brains of what's going on here. He has, I believe, got Duncan Todd. So he is an insurance manager as well. But he seems to be pulling the strings in this area. So initially he hired Lorraine, who hired some more people to take out Dougie. So that was the first initial attempts in Rancho Rosa, the property development place where we first met Dougie. She failed. Then at that point, Duncan Todd hired Ike the Spike. So Ike the Spike was told to take out Lorraine, then after that take out Dougie Jones, which he succeeded in taking out Lorraine, but not Dougie Jones. So now Ike the Spike has been taken into custody by the police. So now Duncan Todd has gone to Anthony Sinclair. So Anthony Sinclair is going to use his knowledge of the Mitchum brothers fraud deal that's going, the insurance fraud, to spur them on to kill Dougie Jones. So it's interesting how it all leads back to Duncan Todd. All these story arcs, all these attempted murders are all going back to him. And once again, probably all back to the doppelganger. So pretty cool to see. Now we've got that confirmation of what's going on with these characters. It's nice to put it all in a, I guess, a little bubble like that and associate it all to him. It's quite good. I think it makes it tidy for me anyway. Okay, so now the last thing I want to talk about is the picture of the doppelganger at the glass box. So the first episode, if you remember, the glass box had cameras all around it. The monster came out of it and killed those two people. Now, for me, I never associated that whole scenario around the black box with the doppelganger Coop. But now I see him, he was involved with the first setup of this. And immediately my thought is that whilst he has planned to use Dougie Jones as a scapegoat, if you will, to kill Agent Coop when he comes back, and use all these, use Duncan Todd, use all these resources to kill who we think is Dougie. One of his backup plans was use this box to capture Agent Coop when he came back in. And we see him as well when he first came through. He came through there and he somehow reversed it and left. So what are your thoughts on that? As soon as I see the doppelganger associated with the glass box, I think this was an elaborate scheme to possibly capture Agent Coop returning. Then he could kill him his own way. It's strange that I needed to see a picture of him to do that. I don't know if anyone else picked that up beforehand, but I think, I don't know what I initially thought the boxes were about. I thought it was quite vague, and I thought we were going to learn more. But if this is all we learn, then I think it makes sense. But maybe there's going to be more to it. Maybe he was just involved in the information around them, helping them make it. But yeah, be interested to see where it goes, if there's any more, or if that is it. So what are your thoughts on this? Did you always think that this was the case, that the doppelganger set this up as a capture for Agent Coop on his return? Leave your feedback below. Really appreciate that. So I'll leave this little video here. I hope you enjoyed this little recap, and I will cover Twin Peaks next week as well. And once again, if you're watching Game of Thrones, check out my Game of Thrones video. Really appreciate it. Subscribe for future content from me here. Thumbs up if you liked this video. Until next time, this is Mish, and I'll see you later.